Hello, glorious Librans. Welcome. I'm Emma. I'm happy to be here with you today. And whilst I'm fairly new to YouTube, I am not new to doing this. I've been doing this an incredibly long time. If you want to find out more about me, I'll pop a link to my website in the description and you can check that out. But if not, I'm here. I'm here for your April 21 readings, and I'm really feeling good about this. I was so full. My heart was full when I was sinking into Libran energy prior to making this video. And I'm actually feeling really good about your April because it feels very divine. I feel like your April is very divine. It feels very divinely led, divinely inspired, and very synchronistic. And I feel like this April has the potential to be quite a big month for you. I know that many Librans, because I have Libran friends, one of my best friends is a Libran, so I love Librans. But I know that Librans have been experiencing quite a lot in the last year. A lot of change, a lot of becoming, a lot of new things. And so it's interesting that April could stand out amongst all this big newness. And yet I believe it will. I believe it will stand out. Now, I don't feel like it's necessarily through, like these very big events, these big life-changing events. It might be, but it feels more that this is the month where you are pulled into this alignment with your sense of self that you have become. It's a pulling, and it's a very distinct lining up where everything lines up with you, and then as you tread, it just seems to keep lining it up. So I sat down and tuned into you guys before pressing record. So I'm going to go through the feelings that I had for you, and then I'm going to pull 3 cards to follow on from that conversation and layer it up a bit, looking at the themes of April. And then towards the end, I will pull a relationship card, because I know that that's something we all like to get stuck into sometimes. So I'm going to do that too. Yeah, let's go. So what I felt for Libra as a theme for the month of April is listening to the calling. And I feel like April's quite a spiritual month where we are bringing back into balance, using those Libran scales there, bringing back into balance other elements of yourself that maybe haven't had a platform for expression in recent months. Now, the reason I'm calling this spiritual is because it's very soul orientated. Now, I feel you may have been going through quite a lot of change in recent years, not just because you're human, but because Librans kind of have been. And I feel like your focus has had to be on certain areas, and you will now see the evidence that those areas have changed, transformed, and inflated. And I feel like you can really celebrate that, hone into the glory of that. That was what you wanted, and you've created that. And because those areas were such a heart calling at the time, they had to become a focus. You may now feel that other areas of your life aren't quite as full. But these are very special areas because they're very connected to Libran heart space, Libran calling, Libran soul calling, what you feel you may be here to do. Now, I'm not a fan of feeling like we only have one purpose in this life. I feel that we are very textured human beings and we have multi-purposes here. Do you know, like a good friend of mine had said, you have a purpose as a woman. This was talking to me, as a woman, as a friend, as a mother, as a lover, as somebody in your workplace, but almost everywhere you are, you have purpose, right? And so I feel like you've been experiencing what it means to have purpose in many areas, and that remains to be true. But then I also feel that there is something inside of you that has been bubbling. Maybe it's something that you put to rest. Maybe it's something that had to take a back seat for a while, and now you're feeling this pull. You're feeling this pull. Now that's going to present differently to each individual Libra, and it's what your heart's calling is. It's that kind of thing that you can say, I came into this lifetime to experience this, and I know it because I feel it so big inside of me. And yet, I don't feel like I've taken it to its fullness yet. I don't feel like I've gone as far as I can go. Now, for some of you, that might be creativity, it might be working with spirit, it might be exploring relationship, it might be building a kingdom, it might be fighting a cause, it might be connected with family. Like I say, it's going to be very individual. And I don't feel like this is the right place to try and whittle it into one area. I just think it's a heart's calling, and it's really strong and it's really big. And you already know this because it's been coming up. It might be coming up with conversation with other people. It might be you're talking to someone, you feel very emotional. I talked to my Libra friend, I think it was over the weekend. She sent me a voice message and she said, I had this huge emotional outpouring when I was talking about this subject. And that's a really clear sign that that's her heart's calling right now. Do you know, like, because she's got so much emotion when she talks about it. And I feel like you've already been getting the signs here, that you've already been going, this keeps coming up. It's coming up in my dreams. It's coming up when I'm, just going on a walk. It's coming up when I'm talking to people. I just can't seem to let this go. And for some reason, it seems like it's not had a place in my life, and I want it to. And I think because obviously there may have been experiences where you haven't been able to take it as far as you wanted to. Maybe the dream hasn't come to its fullness yet. It would be easy to feel a bit tentative, like that idea of, well, I've tried it so many times, maybe it's not meant to be. You got to listen to the signs kind of thing. It hasn't come together. Maybe I should leave it alone. But I actually feel like all of that was for use. It was utilized, it was useful, it hasn't been written off. It's still inside of you, like little gems of life experience, little jewels of life experience. And the time is coming now, when now we're going to roll it out. And maybe it's because we have eased some of your other areas off. You're no longer split focused. You're no longer trying to grow 10 areas at a time, because certain things are now stable, certain things are now healed, certain things are now secure, and you feel the difference in how that has grown and blossomed. So you're no longer worrying about it. And so now you're not worrying about lots of different things. You can be focused on this, and you can go into it and see what it can become and what you can become through the living of it. And it feels like you will know what this is through April. It will become very clear. I feel like the universe is ensuring that this will not be ignored. And the biggest sign it won't be ignored is your heart keeps going on about it. It's not letting you forget this. But I also feel like it's people saying it to you and noticing signs everywhere and opportunities being offered. I do have very tangible opportunities that will be bringing this to light. So you should find through April that people are coming to talk to you and inviting you directly into this calling. And so that's exciting. Just even hearing that come out my mouth made me go, ooh. You are being invited, like the whole spirit world, universe, life itself is grabbing you and saying, will you come now? Will you step into this? And there is this assurance that you need not be worried or afraid about the hows. How is this going to progress? How am I going to take it forward? What will happen later? What happens 10 steps down the line? It's almost like the hows. How can I do this? How can I afford it? How can I make time for it? How can I get there? That's just going to slow you down. All you need to know is that if life is inviting you, this is meant for you, and it will find a way of working out. It just will. But you need this balance now, Libra. It's like all the other areas are so full that the scales are going boop on that side, and it feels like we now need to stock up with abundance this other area of your life so it comes into balance. And I love that this isn't happening from, right, we need to bring you into balance, Libra, let's take some stuff away. And then the scales be nice and balanced because you're not so heavy anymore. It's like, that's not what this is. You are so full that we want to create that sense of balance by just giving you more. I mean, that's really deeply exciting. So I think April, we're definitely leading with Listen to your heart's calling. I know at some points in recent months, you've been looking at the horizon and feeling like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. But I feel like if you haven't already been waking up to yourself, you definitely will be in April. And I do not believe you will reach the end of April in that place of, I don't know what I should be doing. I feel like it will be quite solid in you that you know what the next thing is. And so April is really working to bring you into alignment with this path. You're already in alignment. Let me realign. Let me reword that. You are already in alignment. So what life is doing is bringing life into alignment with you. Yeah, it's lining up all these wants, it's lining up all these desires, it's lining up the people, it's lining up the opportunity, it's lining it up so that it makes it easy for you to know the next step, to just walk directly into it. And it's because this is your time for that. And I feel like you're needed in the world now, Libra. You're needed. The places you're going, you're needed. You're bringing something to the world that you know you're here to bring. And that might be love. Maybe you're just bringing a whole bunch of love into the world. It might be that you're bringing people into the world. If you're creating a family right now, it might be that you are bringing healing and insight and gifts and knowledge and clarity. There's just so many things that could be here. But if I said to you, and I directed it directly at you, and I said, what is it you're bringing to the world? I think if you put your hand on your heart and sat with it a while, you would know what you're bringing. And if you are a little bit, wonky right now and you're not sure, I can't tell, I don't know, I've got nothing to bring. You don't need to worry, because life is going to reflect it all back to you. It's going to remind you through April, and it will be undeniable to you what it is you bring to the world. And I just think this is beautiful. This is why I think April is going to be a real game changer for you, because it is transformative, but it's going to feel big. It's going to be strong. It's going to feel like, ooh, I'm about to be doing something that I've always dreamed of doing, that I always knew I was here to do. And I feel like when you look back in hindsight, you will say it all kind of started here, and it's a really exciting place for you to be. I feel really good about this. So with that in mind, let's now pull 3 cards just to layer the conversation, see what other themes, if there are any, that we can add to this. I'm using my Rider-Waite deck. My camera's not great, so sometimes the light shines off it, but that is, I can confirm, a Rider-Waite deck. Right. And we'll see what we've got for you. Oh my God, Libra. Oh my God, these are like my favorite cards. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. We've got the 10 of Pentacles. And we've got the 3 of Cups. If that isn't the most divinely abundant cards that you could possibly have, I don't know what else is. Like, this is incredible. Look at that. Look, Libra, soak this up. I don't know how familiar you are to cards and card reading. I'm going to assume many of you are quite, you know them, right? But these are some of the best things ever. I mean, Ace of Pentacles here. We have got your golden opportunities that you have been waiting for, potentially your entire life about to begin. And now let's say begin, yeah? It might be that April is the month where they land full on your doorstep and off we go. If not, we are introducing you to the people that are bringing this, yeah? So either way, you're not losing out. Like, it all begins here. This is all part of bringing you everything that you've been yearning for. And it is heart calling stuff. So whatever your heart's calling for, oh my God, we're about to give you the real living experience of beginning and entering into this. This is happening. And this is such a divine offer. I mean, you've got the hand out of the clouds here. It's such a divine opportunity. And it is when you're ready for. I just think, because we're having this conversation, if this stuff hasn't happened yet, it could be that there are, in the anticipation that there could be some nervousness, like stepping out into the world in a new way, going to new people, but once again devoting yourself to something that you do have a past experience with being a bit bumpy. Do you know, like, and I think it would be very natural to feel uncertain and a bit wonky over it every now and then. But I also know that once the opportunity presents itself, you are going to say yes, you are going to walk into it, and it is going to be fine once you're actually in it, because it's your heart's calling. You know, one, your heart is ready for it, and two, you are made for this. There is not going to be a sense of, can I do it? Am I all right? Is it okay? Once you're actually in it, you're going to just know, this is where I'm meant to be. This is what I'm meant to be doing. And it's going to be really easy. And then you've got your 10 of Pentacles saying, here is your abundance. Here is your physical abundance, your emotional fulfillment. This is you receiving everything you deserve and everything you want. And I actually posted this on my daily reading today before recording this video on my Patreon, and I'd said in there, you know, you're allowed to enjoy this. You're allowed to enjoy the things you want. And I think April will definitely bring these themes, right? Of you having these incredible opportunities, receiving all that abundance, and know that you're allowed to enjoy it. I mean, here's the celebration. Here's the pleasure of it. Here's the co-creation, the together, the celebration of what's happening in your life. And it is really valuable to keep reminding yourself that you're allowed this. You need not over-explain it and over-justify it and say, you know, we sort of do that self-convincing. I'm allowed to do this because I've done lots of healing and I've done lots of growth, and, you know, I've really been working hard for this, and I've gone without for so long, so I'm totally allowed this now. Like, get off. You don't even need to do that, because we know you deserve it. We know that you worked hard for this. We know that you came here for this. We know how much you want this. And no one else is going to get that. No one else is going to know how big that calling has been inside of you, so that when it does come, they're not going to get every step you took to get here. So the only person you're over explaining to is yourself, and you need not do that because you were here for it, Libra. So all you need to do is give yourself whatever you need to be able to enjoy this now. If things need to be reduced, or you need to not get into drama conversations, or you need to maybe stay away from people that are, you know, raining on your parade and dulling your buzz, then just do that. I think honor that this is important to you. Honor that this abundance has been long wanted and waited for. Honor that this is what you have been walking towards your entire life, and that you haven't got time to waste. You know, like, you haven't got time to waste. You just want to enjoy it fully. You just really want to have the pleasure of it. You want to begin. You want to see what it can become. You want to see what you can become. And the celebration around you, from the spirit world, from the universe, from life, is huge. I feel like you're going to have evidence of this everywhere. So once you go into all these, oh, excuse me, amazing new opportunities, I think you're going to notice that life is finding ways to say, yes, yes, this is what we want. And it will sort of keep showering you with beauty and joy and reward. And, you know, you'll probably start seeing rainbows and butterflies landing and sunshine and people saying, oh, I love being around you. You're amazing. I love what you do. And I think the universe will just bless you. And that is part of, one, celebrating your arrival, but also encouraging you to continue with what it is you've begun. Because this is all the beginning in April, right? But as we move through the months, it will be continuing what begins now. And so you'll have a lot of assurance here that this is the good thing for you. I mean, you're going to feel it, Libra. You're going to feel it's good for you. That's enough. But I feel like you will also have that external celebration and at times validation to say, it's okay, you can do this, keep going. It's a reflection, isn't it? It's a reflection of yourself. And that is to keep you on the path and keep you moving forward with what it is you've chosen. So, I mean, Libra, this is glorious. You've got a really good April. We're really listening to this heart's calling, and we're taking this calling and making it a reality. I And that is phenomenal. Oh my goodness. So with that in mind, I wonder what we have for a sort of a relationship theme. Let's have a look. I'm having a reshuffle. We'll see what we got for you as a relationship theme through April. The Magician. That is such an awesome one, isn't it? Like this is the only time I've pulled the Magician, by the way, for my April reads. So far, got a few videos left, but I just feel so awesome seeing that, because I feel like your relationships are in your hands, Libra. Your relationships are in your hands. If you want relationships to be in balance, you're the one that's able to bring that to you. If you want relationships to be full of fun and lightheartedness and playfulness and excitement and adventure, that's in your hands, Libra. Crack on then. You know, sort that out, put that into place. If you want your relationships to move into, you know, expressive communication and depth and whatever you want, really, it's going to be you that says, right, that's what I want. And I'm going to make that happen. And I feel like you've got a really great way of making that happen, because you're not necessarily dictative. You're not like, right, do it this way and do it that way. And if you don't do it that way, I don't want to be in this co-creative experience anymore. I feel like, you know, in the past, that might have been something that came out, but you've arrived at such a glorious place that you actually get people. You know how to have these conversations. You know how to ask for what you want. You know how to ignite it and kick it off, you know, like, you know how to do that. Kick it off in a positive way, you know, like, say for example, if you want to go on an adventure with your lover, you know that you can say, hey, how do you feel about that? Is that something you'd be open to? I feel like your communication is at a really good point these days, and that you are able to honor the standard of relationship you want to have. And I feel like at times you may get like an old version of you get a little bit nervous about saying these things. But then once they're said, I think you're going to see the magic of how that evolves and how that transforms. And it's almost going to reassure you that you can speak your voice, you can speak your desires, you can bring this forward, and you're going to get some really positive transformations. At the same time, let us be aware that if relationships are not rising to the standard of which you are living, then it's in your hands to reduce them. No one's saying you have to cut anybody out or, you know, do anything drastic that makes you uncomfortable. But what you can do is just make yourself less available to the relationships that you feel are not up to standard. Yeah. So you will notice that throughout April, you are having the opportunity for some very magical experiences, but it's because you're the one that's going to own that that's what you want. Okay. So if that's what you want, there will be this encouragement to own it. Keep owning it. Keep voicing that. Keep bringing it forward. Don't reduce or squash your own desires. And you will notice that it's because we're putting this all back in your hands, because in the past you felt like you were being dragged along by other people's decisions. You know, like maybe it's that you were waiting for people to choose you, or waiting for people to let you know where you stand, or waiting for people to take a relationship forward, or waiting for people to give you back what you were giving. And there was a lot of waiting around, Libra. And now there is no waiting around, because you have become such a powerhouse that you are able to stand inside your relationships and engage inside your relationships and connect inside your relationships. And you are able to have conversations that layer and enhance your living experience. And we know that. So we're not about to treat you like a child that can't take care of her own life, like, or his own life. Like, we're not about to do that. We're not about to say, oh dear, Libra can't take care of things, we better get involved. We're actually very confident in you, in being able to make your own life choices. And that applies to relationship. And I feel like the more you own what it is you want to be feeling inside your relationship, the better it's going to be. Like, I actually think relationship for April is looking gorgeous. Like, when I tune into that, I think, oh my God, we have such high standard, high level connective experience for you. Relationship here is looking like we are sort of, the only way I can say it is like a seeping into every part of you. This fulfillment, relationship fulfillment, like all of the joys and the pleasures seeping through your entire body. It's a very sensory experience. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel it with the tingles. You're going to feel it with the heart joy just flooding through you. We've got this potential here for incredible relationship experiences this month, where you go to places that maybe you've never been before. However, this is all reliant on you. Now, we're not saying you have to do all the work. These relationships shouldn't feel like work. If they feel like work, these are the very things you should be investing less in. However, it feels like it's just going back into your hands because we trust you. We believe in you. We know that you are capable of creating that which you want to experience. And in doing that in relationship through April, is going to really layer your confidence that you can create that which you want to experience in other areas of your life. Do you see that? So the relationships are reassuring you that you can have a voice, you can create, you can have what it is you want. It's coming through relationship. And that is, over the coming months, going to trickle into every other area. Because you'll say, if I can create this in my relationships, I certainly can create it anywhere else. I mean, creating it inside of relationships is one of the toughest places to do it. You know, we've got a lot of inner ego stuff to overcome. So to have that self-belief that you are the one directing your emotion, directing your desires, directing your wants, to have that belief take form in such a beautiful way in your relationships. Oh, it's going to make you unstoppable for the other areas, Libra. And that, I think you're going to get a lot of evidence that you're creating exactly what you want, that you are magic. And relationships is one of the main platforms that this is going to play out on this month. So do look for evidence of that. Do look for evidence where your relationships are living up to standards. It may be that just by getting in agreement with it, getting on board your own desires internally, the magic is happening externally. I mean, often that's exactly how it happens. Do we have to communicate it? Yes. But that's because it's in the communicating of it that we line up with our own desire. That's all it is. But once it's all lined up, it should be easily happening around you. And I feel like you're going to see a lot of evidence of that. And so do ask yourself, where am I seeing evidence that everything's living up to standard inside my relationship? Maybe not everything, but most things that I want are living up to standard, because that's going to be your magic feeling driving you onwards to say, oh, that's amazing, I can have this, and I'm going to take it into other places. So really, Libra, what an amazing April to be going into. What an incredible month. Like, I'm so excited for you that I can't wait to hear how this plays out. Please do come back to me and do tell me what it is you are feeling your heart called towards. And then please report back where evidence is presenting itself that is saying, yes, we are giving you opportunity for that, because I love to hear your stories. So please come and let me know. And in the meantime, I will be back next month. If you would like a little bit more of me and to have a bit more fun, you can join me over on Patreon. It's a new community that's blossoming, but we're going to have a lot of fun over there. I'm doing daily card readings, weekly videos, and I'm hoping to do a live conversation in the coming weeks and maybe do that monthly. So that's feeling good. Come and join in. It's going to be a really good place for us all to be. You can also book in for one-to-one time with me through my website. I'll put the link in the description. I'll put the Patreon in the description as well. And, you know, I've got a Facebook. There's lots of ways for us to connect. I will be back for your May readings though. So, you know, there's more togetherness yet. So sending all my love with you, Libra. Looking forward to hearing all about your incredible April. You got a lot to look forward to. Sending all my love. I'll talk to you soon.